As is our custom, we ask an outstanding graduate to respond on behalf of the class. This afternoon, we're pleased to have Bryan Morris as your responder. As Bryan comes forward, I will share with you some information about him. He's a native of Greenwood, South Carolina, and is receiving his bachelor's degree in Building Construction Management Technology. Bryan has served in a number of organizations while at Purdue, including Sigma Lambda Chi, the International Construction Honor Society, the Building Construction Management Competition Team, the Construction Leadership Council, and is founder of the Purdue Student Veteran Organization. You may recognize Bryan. He was one of the students featured on our 5 Students Who Are Veterans website 2 years ago. Bryan served 4 years of active duty in the United States Marine Corps from 2005 to 2009, deployed twice in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. He led 12 Marines and 1 Navy corpsman as an infantry squad leader on over 4,000 hours of combat patrol. Last year, he was awarded first place in the Military Family Research Institute grant competition. After graduation, Bryan plans to work as a project engineer for Integra Construction in Atlanta, Georgia, and looks forward to spending more time with his family. Please welcome Bryan Morris.
Thank you, President Cordova. Good afternoon, everyone. I am truly honored to stand before you today. The opportunity to speak on behalf of our newest alumni is exciting. I hope you are as fortunate as I am to have my entire family here today. Their presence makes this day more meaningful. I cannot thank them enough for their support and love along the way. It is hard to believe that our time here has come to an end. No more homework, quizzes, and exams to study for. These next few weeks will be the final paragraph in this chapter of our lives. I graduated high school in 2003. Yes, 8 years ago. Sorry it took so long, Mom. I had to make a lot of mistakes and choices to get me where I am today. My first attempt at college was a complete failure. I was gone within my first year and headed down a path to nowhere. In January of 2005, I made one of 3 decisions that changed my life forever. I enlisted into the Marines. I joined the Marines as a young, immature, 19-year-old kid. After 2 combat deployments of walking the streets of Iraq during the fiercest fighting our generation has ever seen, I had returned home as a 23-year-old man. During that time, I learned about prioritization and how to have the discipline to follow through on every task. This experience is something I will be proud of for the rest of my life. Once a Marine, always a Marine. The second decision made was marrying my high school sweetheart. Her strong words of encouragement were just what I needed along the way. A few examples of her encouraging words. You need to study more. Just wait. Quit whining, and my all-time favorite, suck it up. Caitlin, you're the motivation behind all of this. The third decision was accepting my offer to Purdue. It seems like yesterday, my wife and I were here visiting this beautiful campus. I can remember parking in the Grant Street parking garage and getting out of the car that April morning. I remember opening the door and seeing my breath because it was so cold. I remember the 30-plus-mile-per-hour wind gust, and I remember my soon-to-be advisor, Loretta, telling me that it was unusually cold for this time of year. After 3 Midwest winters, I have a better understanding of the term cold. As I walked to class, my last few days as a student, I couldn't help but think how much I would miss this place. I thought of all the alumni that I've shared these sidewalks with, and I hold my head higher, knowing that I am now amongst them. While all of our journeys to this day have been different, we have all made decisions, good and bad, that make us who we are today. Those decisions have brought us to this moment. We could not have gotten here without guidance and help along the way. It may have been a family member, friend, or someone within the Purdue family who helped you. For that, we are forever grateful. The friendships and memories I made here, I will always cherish. Purdue, you have been so good to me, and I shall never forget. You gave me a second chance, and I made the most of it. You have given me a world-class education and helped prepare me to move the world forward. You have broadened my horizon and exposed me to all walks of life. The diversity of this university is what makes us so great. The unique backgrounds and experience of each student makes us better and more well-rounded people. As we begin the next chapter in our lives, remember the strong foundation that this great university has provided. I would like to close by telling you a story I recently heard on my study abroad trip to Saudi Arabia this past May. There was a boy who had a baby hawk in his hand and wanted to play a trick on an old man. The boy says to himself, "I'm going to go up to that old man and ask him if the bird in my hand is dead or alive. If the man says the bird is alive, I will crush it, open my hands and say, 'Ah, the bird is dead.' If the man says the bird is dead, I will open my hands and I'll let it fly away." The boy goes up to the old man and says, "Mister, I have a bird in my hand. Is this bird dead or alive?" The old man looks at the boy's hands for a moment, and then he slowly raises his eyes. "Son," the boy says, staring into the boy's eyes, "the bird is in your hands, and whatever you decide to do with it will determine its fate." Class of 2011, the future is in your hands. Thank you, and hail Purdue.